What would your life be like if you could eat more food and lose body fat? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how, with a case study from my client Nathan, who lost 15 pounds eating 600 more calories today. So if you think it's not possible, wait to the end because I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I use metabolic priming to get Nathan's metabolism to fire and get him to eat more food and get leaner. So my name's Adam Bono. I'm an online fat loss professional. I specialize in hormonal priming, body recomposition, high-low forms of nutrition through exact, precise nutrition in the form of metabolic priming. Metabolic priming is a process of metabolism manipulation that has helped me and 89 of my clients in the last 6 months get to the leanest body fat percentage I've ever been. But today we're going to actually break down, and I'm actually going to show you exactly how it works so you guys can break your next fat loss plateau and get to leaner days. So anyways, let's kind of get right into the video. So with Nathan right here, I'm going to actually show you guys how step by step how I did this. But first of all, I want to explain to you where he was currently at when he came to me, right? So when he was currently at when he came to me, and here's the transformation right here, 235 right here. And then this is where he weighed in the other day, 220, 221. And I'm going to show you the actual calories associated with his program and how I was able to get his body to lose weight eating more food. But before we get started, I kind of want to validate the fact that, this isn't just, some random testimonial. I'm actually going to show you exactly what Nathan had to say in one of our one-on-ones.
And it's crazy because I'm down, I think 12, 13 pounds. And I've hit a personal best yesterday on doing on chest, on the incline dumbbells. And I was like, holy shit, I've never done that before. So that's awesome, dude. My gym buddies are like, what the is going on here? And I'm like, I'm losing weight and gaining muscle. I was like, tell me how hard that is. Everything else is getting, more vascular, and my wife's like, I've never seen the ripples in your chest, like in the middle, that kind of stuff.
So. If you've seen in your check-in photos, your lower lats are really starting to get really pronounced and really defined as well. You're starting to really just tighten up. Really.
Yeah, in a month.
So obviously this is just the first month of him working with me, right? He dropped 13 pounds in 4 weeks. But obviously that's not just the end of the story, right? I end up working together a little bit longer than that, and now he's even leaner, right? And so when he came to me, he was eating right around 2,100 calories per day. He had plateaued. He's been eating clean for a while, and he's been training, but he's hit a plateau, and his energy kind of bottomed out. So if that sounds like you, listen up, because I'm going to show you how to break this plateau, right? In the past, he's dropped from 270 to 205, but when he got to 205, the 205 wasn't a sustainable 205, where it's not something that he was comfortable at. It's not something you can maintain, and he's tried carnivore, low carb, and cardio to break the plateau, but nothing really got the ball rolling. So if this does sound like you, you're not alone. A ton of the guys I work with actually go through this particular process, and what it is it comes down to the fact of knowing how much to eat to actually supplement your metabolism and being able to eat the correct amount. So his goals were to get to 10% body fat and knowledge on how to sustain the progress and break the plateau, right? Obviously, nothing really matters at the end of the day if you can't actually sustain the progress. Getting to a leaner body fat percentage is one thing, but actually learning how to sustain it and get your body to a point where you don't rebound back really quickly is another, right? So the Western society in general doesn't have a problem with weight loss. The Western society has a problem with keeping weight off. 30% of people who lose 20 pounds don't actually keep it off. And even a shorter amount of those people actually keep it off over the course of a couple years. So obviously, we don't have a weight loss problem. People are losing weight out there, but they're doing it so unsustainable that they're not able to keep it off. So we needed to, put him in a better position, right? We needed to prime his metabolism and give him how much food to eat specifically, because how much food is a real dictator of how your metabolism works, right? It's not just about eating clean. It's about how much you need to be eating, because if you don't know how much to be eating, then you're not tracking or any eating without a goal in mind. But we need to give him the correct amount of food to eat to raise his metabolic rate and get his body to burn more food and break his plateau and put his body in a better position for sustainability long long term and stay lean. So in lamer terms, really what this is that one, over time his body had adapted to losing a significant amount of weight, and he had kind of plateaued. So once you start to go through hypercaloric deficits and you start to lose weight, the body starts to regulate, down-regulate your metabolic levels, your metabolism, your thermic effect of food, your non-energy activity thermogenesis, and all of that starts to lower. So the body is kind of like in a survival mode, right? It turns food burning mode into food storage mode. So what we had to do for Nathan is give him the correct amount of food to eat to turn his body back into food burning mode, because he's been eating so little for so long amount of time. And no matter what you did, how low we got the calories, no matter how much cardio you do, you just can't break the plateau. And this happens more often than you would think. And actually, typically, I'd say 90% of the people who come to me are under eating, right? And it's crazy because they're hungry, but they're under eating. And so we just give them more food and actually give them how much food to eat to supplement your metabolism from protein, carbs, and fats. And they actually satiate themselves and lose a bunch of weight, which, if you're out there right now and you think it's not possible, this is probably like the 17th case study I've done over this specific process to kind of teach you guys like there's better ways to do it, right? So anyways, here's the overall transformation he made: 15 pounds down, 2,100 calories per day. Obviously, he looks damn lean in this. This is his front shot, right? And so when he came to me, this is kind of what he looked like, right? Right at 235. And the first thing I could notice, and when I took a look at his days of eating, I noticed, first of all, he was overeating on fats and he wasn't eating enough carbs. So the Western society diet right now is very high in fats and very low in protein. Nathan didn't have a problem eating protein. He was getting enough protein in. His issue was he was getting too much fats in and not enough carbohydrates. So what I did was I took what he was eating and I supplemented the fats he was taking and put some of those fat calories into eating more carbohydrates, which in turn, what you do when that happens is, you start to optimize digestion with a lower fat intake, because fat intake kind of stops up your digestion a little bit, but it frees up some digestion, but also gives your body what's called like a state of parasympathetic healing, and puts your body in a state of healing and regulation of cortisol levels, inflammation, oxidative stress, gives your body more energy to run, because your body quite literally runs on glucose. And the thing is, people who try these keto diets, these carnivore diets, one, it's not sustainable because you're cutting out a third of a macromolecule in today's society, right? It's like, why stay afraid of water when you could learn how to swim? And that's what I kind of explain this as, is like, you don't need to be scared of carbohydrates. You need to understand how much carbohydrates to eat, because carbohydrates are an essential part of the human diet. And even people that do these keto diets, they put themselves in what's almost like a metabolic purgatory, where yes, they're trying to get into the state of ketosis so their body can utilize ketones in the form of energy to give your body energy, but typically people don't know how to do that, and typically when you eat a little bit more carbohydrates, you put your body in a state where you're so insulin sensitive from under eating on carbohydrates for so long that you just blow up and gain the weight right back. And now that your metabolic rate is so low, now you're kind of screwed, because you have a low metabolic rate, you have a body fat percentage that keeps going up, and you end up gaining more weight than you actually did when you first lost it. And that's the circle of society that's going in right now. But what we did for him, and I'm going to walk you through step by step. So one, I gave him a correct fat intake, right? Fat intake to regulate hormone levels, to regulate digestion, to regulate testosterone, T3, T4. And then I supplemented some of those fats that we took away with more carbohydrates. So when you put more carbohydrates in somebody's diet who's been under eating for some time now, what actually happens is that you start to raise thyroid hormone, right? So the active form of thyroid hormone is T3. So T4 gets converted into T3 for active thyroid hormone. And once the T3 starts to raise, by giving your client more carbohydrates, their metabolism starts to spike a little bit, right? And so, for instance, on the first date, we gave Nathan 25 more grams of carbohydrates, right? And notice how quickly, within the first month, his actual side shot started to improve, right? Very, very quickly. even the fourth week, very quickly. And this is all with giving him more food. And so I actually gave him 50 grams of carbohydrates, gave him 25 more grams of carbohydrates. And so what I'm looking for right here in his physique is I'm looking for minor changes when we gave him carbohydrates. Because once you have the correct intake of protein, carbs, and fats, and you start to add in certain macromolecules, you can see very well changes in the body. You can start to learn how your client's body works, right? I could tell right off the bat that Nathan, his body was loving carbohydrates, and he was getting leaner significantly, extremely fast. Not only that, as you heard in the video, he was hitting all-time new PRs in the gym like it was nothing, because once you supplement your body and give it a little more carbohydrates, one, that glucose spikes, you get better energy, you get better lifts, you lift more weight. And this happens time and time again with all of my clients, because like I said, typically the guys who come to me are the guys who've tried keto, tried carnivore, around 2,000 calories. They're stuck. They're spinning their wheels. They've lost a significant amount of weight in the past, or they've actually gained the weight back after they lost it. And now their metabolic rate is so low, we have to fix the metabolic rate. And then we simply do that, and they right in the back, first 4 weeks, lose 20, 30. We have a client right now. His name's Robert. He is down 40 pounds in 8 weeks. 40 pounds in 8 weeks, right? So it's the same process over and over again. This is what metabolic priming is giving your body more food. And metabolic priming, in a dictionary term, is the process of metabolism manipulation, right? And so what I'm doing for him is I'm checking each week to make sure he's checking in and staying where he was. And he actually was going on vacation. He went on 2 vacations. He went on 2 hunting trips. He went on a hiking trip. He went to Hawaii for a week for work trip. So all along this time where he's making this progress, it's not like he's just sitting there eating chicken and rice. He's, sitting around, going to the gym, going home. No, he's living life. Like what we teach him is like how to train on the road, how to eat on the road to hit these macronutrients, how to hit certain steps on the road, certain implementation and processes that are aligning with his program that are helping him stay on track when he's traveling. And so keep in mind, like, he's traveling. And yeah, some weeks when he travels, he gains a little bit of weight, right? Ever so slightly, and we have to kind of back off a little bit and get his body to adjust. But that's the process of actually having somebody, who knows what they're doing, first of all, be able to watch over and watch your body composition as you're doing this, right? And so one thing I want to bring up is that, on the 22nd, he actually hit 220, right? So you notice how, he was right around 222, 223, and he's been there for a while now, right? But what we're doing now is we're building leverage, right? And what I mean by that is that he's been doing no cardio this entire time. Up until and I'm going to explain in a little bit when we start doing cardio, but he's been doing no cardio, he's been eating more food, and he's been losing weight, right? And so he's starting to get leaner and leaner and leaner, and he hit an all-time new low weigh-in on the 22nd, right? So this is this day right here, the 22nd. But we want to build more leverage. We want to get more calories under our belt, so when we do start to lower calories and we do add cardio, the stimulus of those lowering calories, the stimulus of adding cardio is much greater, right? So let's take this for a context. When we said Nathan got to 2,500 calories and we want to do a cut, so we started doing cardio. We got under 24, 23, 22, 21. And then we're just kind of capped out. We're back at 2,000 calories and we're kind of screwed. Anyways, what we actually did with him was okay, weight's not gaining much. We're weighing at the same rate. Let's give your body more food ever so slightly each week, and how'd you build more muscle tissue, and let's gain some leverage, right? So what that process looks like is we kept giving him more food, and he actually started to get leaner, right? So I know that even right here, his weight doesn't look different, but look how much leaner he's getting. He gets to 2,800 calories right here, 2,800 calories right here, 2,900 calories right here. He's getting leaner. So what people don't realize is that weight on the scale is the 4th tracker of actual progress within the human anatomy. 4th tracker of progress. The first is how you look, because nobody really cares how much how much they weigh. They want to have less body fat. If I took your weight right now and I snap my fingers and you're shredded but you're the same weight, would you really care? No. And nobody really does care. People want to look good. People want to get lean, right? And so how you look is first, how you feel is second, energy levels, confidence, feeling good, being able to complete everyday activities, being able to have energy from the family members. Third is how your gym sessions, how much strength you're building in the gym. Is your gym sessions going up? Because Nathan's on a structured gym program that I build for him to actually grow muscle tissue. So as you start to grow muscle tissue, you actually start to raise your metabolic rate because muscle tissue is one of the most important parts of the human anatomy, right? And even scientifically, like it is quite literally worse on the human body, worse for men to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat because it's so highly metabolic. So we're trying to gain muscle tissue right here. We're trying to increase his testosterone and gain muscle tissue, build a good base. And so yeah, over the course of time, when he did hit that 220, he didn't really lose that much weight, but that's not what we're looking for. We're trying to build muscle tissue. But notice how much leaner he's getting in his front shot, how much bigger his arms are getting, right? And then when he checked in right here, this is exactly what I was looking for. All right. So at a certain point, yes, our clients do cap out in calories and their body kind of caps out a little bit. And what that looks like is this right here. So notice these small, minuscule changes in his lower lats and his kind of side shot, right? You can kind of tell right here that his body started to like gain a little bit of water retention, right? That's when we know we hit our ceiling, right? Their body's no longer absorbing the glucose that we're giving it, and it's time to dial them back, right? So when we hit the ceiling right here with Nathan, what we did is we actually lowered the calories, about 300 calories, and we added just 3 weeks or 3 days of cardio. And check this out, within the next week. Boom, right? Automatically dropped to tied for a new low, right? But he's eating 2,700 calories, right? And then on this day, we actually gave him an extra day of cardio, but on this day, particularly when he checked in, he was only doing 3 days of cardio, 2,700 calories per day, and he's tied for a new low weigh-in. And now we have all this cardio we can add into his plan. We have 2,700 calories to drop from. We can do 4 days a week, 5 days a week cardio. We can do all the way up to an hour of cardio. We could do 2,600 calories, 23, all the way down to 2,000 if we need to get that low. But notice how much leaner he is, and notice how much leverage we have in the form of how many calories we work with and how low our cardio is at. That is how metabolic priming works. You prime the body, you align your body hormonally for like cardio, for the introduction of lowering calories, and where most people go wrong is this is what their first week looks like. This is what Nathan's, 10th week looked like. And that's why he's going to lose another 20 pounds. But he's going to be able to keep it off because he's not going to be under 2,000 calories, right? He's going to be eating a good amount of food. We're going to maintain his hormone levels. We're going to maintain his leptin and hunger levels. And we're just going to slowly raise the cardio, lower the food, and we're going to slowly get him leaner as time goes on. And that's the reason why he's making the progress he is. This process is so predictable. I've done it 89 times the last 6 months with all my clients. It works time and time and time and time again. And I'm here to show you how to do it because there's not much information out there on the internet on how to diet properly and how to lose fat properly. And like I said, statistically, 30% of the people who lose the weight don't actually keep it off, right? 30% of people actually keep that weight off. Think about that. 3 out of 7 people, or 3 out of 10 people, who actually lose weight keep it off. And even less, 1 to 2, actually keep it off over the course of time. It's an education problem on how to sustain it, how to keep it off. But we teach our clients how to navigate with going on vacation, going on work trips, how to hit macronutrients, and how to be versatile through their program, and so they can actually maintain it for good, right? And that's how it works, and that's why he's making the progress he has, 15 pounds down, 2,700 calories a day, and he looks damn good. So do all my other clients. So if you are struggling with this, if you're someone like Nathan who has been plateaued for a while now, lost a significant amount of weight and got really low in weight and just end up gaining it all back and losing a bunch of muscle tissue, your metabolic rate is just shot, and you've tried carnivore, low carb, and you're just stuck in a plateau spinning your wheels, then, go through my channel. First of all, there's going to be tons of different resources out there for you to utilize to understand how metabolic priming works. I have an entire video that has over 310,000 views on YouTube right now on the process of metabolic priming and how it exactly works. Go check out my channel. But for the ones of you who are out there who are actually action takers, and you don't want to just spend your time going through my channel, it's like learning and writing it down, spending weeks on end trying to figure out exactly how it works and how it works for you, just sign up down below. I'll literally cut the learning curve in half, because success loves speed. And the sooner you start, the sooner you see progress. And so if you want it laid out for you by me and my team on just, hey, eat this much, train this much, hey, this is what you do when you go on your work trips, then there's going to be a link in an application below for you to sign up. And if it's a good fit for us to work together, and I think that I can help you, and I'm 100% confident that you're a good fit for the guys I work with, we'll get you onboarded, we will build you a custom-built plan, and we will help fix this plateau that you're in. So if that sounds like you, sign up down below, but I'll see you guys next time.